In today's episode, Ant and I have to go through 15 different albums and choose what is the best song, but for the aux chord. And what's interesting is that we actually did a new episode exclusively on Spotify and Apple Podcasts where we actually broke down our top 10 aux songs of all time. So if you guys want to find some cool recommendations, check out the link in the pinned comment or in our description. But let's get on with this video, bro. First time that we do this series. I'm excited to get into it because it's not going to be a conversation about what's our favorite or our best song on the album, which it might end up correlating sometimes, but it's really just like what's going to be the best for the vibe of being in the whip with your friends and wanting to sort of jam out together. So let's get started with Kids See Ghosts by Kanye and Kid Cudi. Is this even an aux album for you?
Yeah, I think
it
so.
is. Certain songs.
There's certain songs.
There's only three songs that are acceptable here.
Okay,
only three.
You give me your three songs, I'll give you the couple of options that I have. What did you have?
Okay. Feel the Love, Fourth Dimension, and Fire. Those are the only three. Like, you cannot be playing Reborn. As much as I love the song.
No, you can play Reborn. It's a wholesome moment.
It's like that therapeutic,
yeah, but I like that though.
Even like Cudi montage. Like I'm not trying to hear like deep world views. Like while I'm with the homies.
But that's still a crazy song.
It is.
The Nirvana strings. Like no,
absolutely,
no way. But ultimately, I went with Feel the Love. That is the best aux song on this album. I'll explain to you why. That Pusha T verse is absolutely menacing. The way those drums kick in, it's gonna fucking break your car speakers. The Kanye ad-libs towards the outro, even all of the synths that come in towards the end. It's really like, I think it's the most underrated song off of this album as well. I think for the aux cable and what I've played the most actually in my own car, I'm going Feel the Love.
I've ripped it on the highway and just fucking started leashing out like ba 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 ba. I've been there, bro. I've been there too many times. I have to go with it too.
Yeah, okay,
Love,
yeah, absolutely. Okay, that was easy.
I thought you were gonna go Fourth Dimension because that's another aux banger.
Absolutely, but I think like pure energy and getting the car hype.
Feel the Love.
All right, let's keep going on with this. The Melodic Blues next. So this one's very interesting, right? Because it depends what you like on the aux cable. You know, if you like something a bit more mellow, melodic, maybe late night drives, I would go something like First Order of Business, for example. I really like that as an aux song. Nice slow tempo, even something I might consider, playing with the homies at a certain point after driving back, let's say, from a soccer game, whatever the case may be. But I think there's only a couple of options you could go with here.
I feel like Family Ties is like the obvious answer here for the aux.
Okay, so for the sake of this game, okay, I think you and I would probably both agree like Family Ties is also acceptable amongst all people, has high energy, it passes all the aux tests, right? But could we just eliminate that for now to be able to maybe narrow it down to another one?
And that's what I feel like I did with like a lot of albums on this list where it's like in certain cases I went for the more original choice because like now, if we're in the whip together, like, and I play Family Ties, okay, like, sure, it's the song on the album that has the most thrills, but like, is it too overplayed because it's the biggest song on the album at a certain point? But ultimately, I decided to go with Vent. Like, if you want a car that's really gonna make everyone's fucking body tremble and get like the car shaking, that song is exhilarating, and I feel like hearing it for the first time, like, I love seeing people's reactions to that song.
That's a good option. I brought in Boom Man, actually.
Yeah.
Boom Man is a
fantastic.
That's a great aux song. When those horns come in and the sample flip comes through, Baby Keem's vocals are lively and they're very dynamic as well. Gets everyone engaged in the car ride as well. Nice thumping 808s in the back too. Very triumphant as a song. I think Boom Man would also be a fantastic
That's good, yeah.
option.
Triumphant music, bro.
Absolutely.
That's what you get out of this. But next up, For All the Dogs by Drake, this is an album with limited options, bro. I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
Like, this is not really one that has much unless you count the deluxe, so it was a bit of a struggle. I mean, again, obvious answer would be First Person Shooter with Drake and J. Cole. I decided not to go with that, though.
I would play it, though. I've played it in the car with the guys. I really fuck with it. And I still play the song, by the way.
Me too. So do I. And honestly, it probably is the best aux song off of this album. But again,
for the sake of the game.
For the sake of the game, to be a bit more original with it, I decided to go, with What Would Pluto Do? Just because I feel like it's one of the catchiest songs on the album. It's one of the most club-oriented songs on the album. And if you're in a whip full of people that want to turn up, like, this is the one to go to. And you have some funny quotables, like I want to slide in your box like a vote, and some funny ones like that. And like I said, I think the hook and like the whole okay refrain is really what wins me over. So
that's a great one.
That's
definitely in like the top 5 aux songs off of this album.
Yeah, what about you?
So I've had a big change of heart with this song.
Wait, can I try to guess this?
No, you know what it is already because I've told you how much I started to enjoy this song. Actually, it's another late night.
Another late night. Yes. Okay.
You know how much
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
I love the Yachty and Child Boy production. It's so animated, it feels great. I love Drake's flow throughout the song as well. And just like it's cool to see like how him and Yachty have this really like nice dynamic within the song itself, and how Yachty closes it off. It's also a shorter track on the album, so it's maybe not like an 8 a.m. in Charlotte where people might be sleeping because they're maybe not into lyrical hip hop, or you don't really have to pay attention to much. The flows are calculated, they're playful, it's fun, and I feel like it's a good song to keep everyone animated and sort of like, I would say, invested in the car, if that makes sense to you. You know,
Wouldn't keep me invested, but no, I feel
like,
you.
you understand why I chose it. Like, it's a very
yeah.
accessible song on
It's
the
not
album.
a bad song, so.
And that's a song that really
right.
grew on me. And I've been
Fair.
playing it with Nick lately, and like it's been growing on me. So.
All right. Honestly, other acceptable answers. All the parties, Drew Picasso, Slime You Out. Could
Yeah,
also
you'd go
be,
slime. You don't find it's a bit
you could
slow?
do a Slime You Out.
It's a bit slow.
It picks up.
No,
though.
no, it's slow though.
We
Like,
heard it in Cali. I think it was Fajet that had put it on the AUX, and it was cool.
That's true.
It worked. Anyways, next up, let's take it to some R&B with "Fuck the World" by Brent Faiyaz. Might be my favorite tape from Brent, even though it's an EP.
Some of the best songwriting cuts that you probably have in his discography on here, but this one was easy for me.
This was easy.
Been away.
Been away.
For sure. Easy, number one. I love the high tempo of the track. It's not too aggressive as an R&B song as well, to where you like not everyone in the car could not get engaged with it, right? Like maybe you put on some Marvin Gaye or some like Barry White, and bro, what the fuck am I listening
Yeah.
to? You know, I'm with 4 guys in a car.
Bit
This
too
is not,
old school
This
and-
is not. Yeah, this is not for me. But with Been Away, it's cool. Brent Faiyaz is talking about taking some time from his girl to be able to go make money, and you know, coming back home and still taking care of her. And I like the content matter. Like it's a nice zone to be able to make everyone comfortable within the track.
Yeah, and I like that it has that like travel theme, because like it always could relate a bit more to you when you're driving or when you're on a road trip or whatever it is.
And you have like those bird whistles in the back as well that I feel like add like a nice dynamic to the production as well.
There's a sick bass line in there, some of the stickiest melodies, and probably the most memorable chorus on that project, to be honest with you. But other mentions, Let Me Know, Bluffin', and Clouded.
Clouded is a great song.
Clouded is a beautiful
but
song.
it's just it's slow though.
Too slow.
It is
Yeah,
too slow.
Too slow. But next up, Death Race for Love by Juice WRLD. This was pretty easy for me. I do feel like the best song on the album was probably 10 Feet, but that's more of like an introspective, slow lyrical jam. One of his best songs, though. But ultimately, Out My Way is easily the best
Crazy
AUX
banger.
song on here, bro. Like the way that
The Hit Boy production
Oh
is
my
nuts.
God.
And it's also like it's that type of like playful and also fun, like easygoing. I don't give a fuck about anything type of Juice WRLD. Obviously talking about sex, money, drugs, you know, the stuff.
But
you
also,
find
like,
that,
some quotables, like, they think I'm a bitch because they heard the sad songs, that's a facade, or 007 with the Glock, I got precision. Like, he actually, like, had some
I don't
memorable
give
quotables.
a shit and I don't give a Hoover damn. Yeah, you have songs on here that definitely add tempo and add like a nice energy to the
And
track.
on this album, it's one of the more positive and upbeat tracks, which is sort of what you want, you know what I mean? There's a lot of, like, melodic, maybe depressing songs on Death Race for Love that wouldn't really make sense
I
for the
agree
car.
with
But so you have the same track.
I had the exact same track as
Fuck,
you.
man, okay. We're on the same page.
We're on the
in a
same
lot of
page.
these.
All right, let's
There
want to
we
go
go.
to the 2000 by Joey Badass. We do this?
Let's do it.
All right. So it depends who's in the car on this album.
Because there's a lot of late night vibes. Like, for example, a Cruise Control or a Show Me. If you're with a girl, maybe it's late at night.
If you have more like hip hop heads in the car, something like a Eulogy would be really good as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
I don't know if West Side Gun is for everyone, and that's why I didn't pick that.
that's a
you know,
big
like-
one. I didn't choose it, but that's a big
yes,
one.
but I'm not sure if everyone's into West Side Gun,
Doesn't
right?
matter. You get
Of
that
course.
sax.
It's,
You get that
like-
sax ringing off, bro, and you're in paradise, bro.
I think easily though, Make Me Feel.
Make Me Feel is the one. Yeah,
it
like,
definitely
if you want
is
that
the
feeling of like timeless New York hip hop and getting that feeling again, it's the most elegant beat on the track list, and it's Joey's best rapping on the album. So that's sort of a no-brainer.
Performance-wise and like energy-wise, I
Absolutely.
believe so. Yeah, when opportunity meets preparation, I'm going off like detonation. I want it all. Fuck a reparation. I do it all with no hesitation. Crazy,
Bro.
Like you're automatically engaged into this album once you get there.
Fun fact,
Yeah.
this has become not the album that I would put at number one, but my most played album from 2022, like as of like today.
You slept on
currently.
this album, dog.
I didn't sleep on it.
Yes, you
There's
did.
still some weak tracks.
Nah, Lou.
There's still weak tracks, but
slept way
again,
too hard on this
I always loved the album. Like I said, it's my most played from that year now. It became that for me. But anyways,
It's time, but that's always Joey's music, man. You go back and you have to listen to it more, and you have to go back. I knew after first listen the quality within this album.
there's still the Chris Brown track and a couple of
Yeah, you're gonna listen.
slip-ups.
It's not a
It is what it
flawless
is.
album,
It's not
but
a
there's
flawless album, but
there's
it's fantastic. for sure.
absolutely. Let's go into DS
I'm
Forever
going.
by Gunna. Let me pull up this track list, man, because I think I had a couple of different options in here. So
Same.
yeah, I guess you didn't go with P Power, right? Or you didn't go with anything that's really that popular.
Well, I think Push and P was the only one that I had to rule out because, shit got ruined by like teenage girls on TikTok. That's just the reality of it. I did go with P Power though. And I feel like this is a controversial pick just because, yes, it's a big song and you have obviously the amazing Donna summer sample flip, but at the same time, you're getting some wild moaning on there. So it's like, I get why some people would say no for it on the aux, but if you have like the right people that know ball, they won't give a fuck about the moaning. They'll just enjoy it for the banger that it is. So I'm not one usually to go for like the overly sexual songs, but I can't deny the magic here. I can't.
You can't deny the magic here, but like you said, I'm not sure if it's going to be the best song to be able to play in that setting.
Because of the moaning? Why?
Well, it might throw someone off, or it might like
I said, if people know ball and they recognize like real shit.
I think 25K Jacket has to be a shot over here as well with Baby. That's a great collaboration. South to West is arguably the most underrated song off here, especially that sample flip. It's so sick. But ultimately, I went a lot of cake. I went a lot of cake. Yeah, I went a lot of cake because of the Metro Boomin production. I feel like his production is so accessible for a bunch of different people. The quick flows that Gun is catching on to, the catchy hook. It's one of the best songs, if not my favorite, off of the album itself. So I went with a lot of cake off of this one.
Poochie Gown was another good option.
Yeah, Poochie Gown's good. Yeah. I thought I was playing with 21 Savage as well. I like that one as well.
Not bad.
I love revisiting this album. There's a lot of good songs.
A lot of quality. Here. But next up, Funeral by Lil Wayne. This is an album that you never even want to listen to in full. But it's I guess it's got a handful of moments at best. Honestly, bro, no, it's not even a debate, bro. This is like, it's mahogany.
It's for sure mahogany.
Easily, bro. Like
it's such a big outlier on the track list, too.
Yeah, man. Honestly.
So what do you like the most about it? Is it the production? Is it Wayne's rapping performance? What do you get the most out of it?
It just checks the boxes of what I usually like within a Wayne song, right? It's got like the lighter flick to kick shit off. It's got some slick rhymes, some cool punchlines here and there. The beats banging. Like, it just checks those boxes. And I feel like even looking at other options like Harden or Ball Hard with a little twist.
No.
Even Mahogany, I'll rarely play it. Like, there's not much aux value here.
It's the generic Wayne banger, right? Yeah. Because you have him boasting about his cars, his riches, his expensive lifestyle. But if you were forced to go back to this album and play a song off of it, you want to go back to Mahogany. So that one was one of the easiest ones. Let's go on to the WIZRD by Future. There's so much quality off of this album, low-key. And it's one that I felt like I slept on when it first released. I feel like I slept on it when it first released. So what were a couple of different options that you had for this one?
Options that I had that I didn't go with. Let's see here. Never Stop. I actually fuck with that vulnerable melodic Future on the intro. Then you had Crushed Up, Stick to the Models. Unicorn Perp with Gunna and Thug is a fucking banger that gets overlooked.
I know my song, though.
I know my song as well. Let's see if it's the same one.
Call the Corner.
No. That's a good option, but no.
That's a crazy option. Okay, what else do you got?
I've been popping since my demo, bitch. Yeah, Rocket Ship, bro.
Okay, there we go. That's another one as well.
Rocket Ship is the one for me. I feel like if you really want to get that stank face out of the guys in the car, like that's the way to get all the heads bobbing.
Yeah, but even I just love the way that, Call the Corner starts off. It has like the news reporter talking. It was actually, this is cool. Okay, about Call the Corner. This is like a bit of an Easter egg. That monologue that plays at the beginning. Mm-hmm. It's actually from the 2018 Today Show by Drew Hogan, and like he's talking about how El Chapo got like caught, right? And then it goes right into the chorus, and it's that triumphant type of Future. I want to live like a drug lord, but I want to be glorious. And the way that he finishes off those lines, it's fucking sick. The production by Q Beats and TM88, it's super dark. It's that type of Future that you want to hear in the whip. I automatically went to that one. But you're right. Like, even for you, Rocket is definitely up there on the track list.
Oh, absolutely, bro. The guy's just, he's rapping about getting high as fuck, and he just, with the most confidence you could imagine. But anyways, next up. Perfect Timing by Nav and Metro Boomin. One of the first times that we ever speak about this album on the podcast. This is one of the good ones. We got to give Nav his flowers when they're due, and he deserves praise for this project. There's bangers on here. I'll say it.
Yes. Okay. So
it's the easiest fucking decision ever.
Give me minutes every single day.
Every single Offset day. On that song.
Nuts. But even the Cardi verse is super sick.
No, Offset won that shit, bro.
No, for sure.
The 3 flow switches. Laddie daddy, put it on Molly, fuck it on top of the Rari. Like, that flow is just lethal.
Pierre Bournav and Metro Boomin producing credits as well.
Let's never get Pierre and Metro on a beat.
For sure. Absolutely. I think it's definitely the best song off of the album, too. Can we agree on that?
I do agree on that.
Do you think it's... I don't want to say one of Pierre Bourne's best ever beats, like low key, but it's one of his best ever credits. At least one of my favorites.
Yeah, one of my favorites probably.
For
But
sure.
other options, you have Both Sides. You have I Don't Care. Kind of captures like the dark nightclub vibe of the album, I feel like. But yeah, the beat on this song, bro, like those
Stupid.
hypnotic synths, the kicks that come in and out of the beat, like really well produced.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's keep on going. Next up, FM by
Vince.
Vince Staples.
Just
and
play
I feel
the whole
like,
album.
literally, that's what I was gonna say.
Play the whole
It's
album.
22 minutes long. It's fucking consistent from top to bottom. Just run it all. Fuck choosing an aux song, but there's
So
one
what did you
answer.
go with? Where did you go with?
I went with Relay.
I went with Outside.
Really?
I
Okay.
like the way that the album starts off, and I like the sequencing actually of the way that feels like summer goes into Outside. I think it's one of the more accessible songs off the album as well. I like the chorus as well. Left side, who about that life? Right side, who about that life? Nighttime, who about to die? The way that he ends up, using those rhymes together, I really like that. Broad day, I'm around your way. SK come out, let's play. Draco, that's a young gun. I really like the way that he formed his verses as well, and it's one of the more accessible tracks off of the album. But yeah, talk to me about Relay, because that's arguably one of the catchiest hooks off of the album too.
Absolutely. Fed chirp on Skinner. Yeah,
Right.
it's super catchy, but ultimately I just feel like it has this quirky bass heavy beat that's gonna rattle up the car. I think that when you're looking at like just the subject matter, it's Vince Staples on like his super gangster shit, which is always cool to hear to get him into that bag. I like the way he extends his vocal notes and the way he has like this Bobby Shmurda type flow. And yeah, bro, just a lot of clever lines throughout it. Also, the transition from Don't Get Chipped to Relay is fucking perfection.
Really sick.
Yeah,
I
like-
love the sequencing off of this project.
It's
It was
great.
so well done and so
It's
well
great.
calculated. So Vince Staples, FM, great project. But let's keep going on with this. Cozy Tapes Volume 2. So we've done Volume 1s in the past, but Volume 2 is arguably better for me. I think I prefer Volume 2 over Volume 1.
This one has lived in
my
our
car,
vehicles. They've
The-
lived on.
but yeah, there's very few songs on here that I don't play.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's tough to choose here. This
because
is a
if you
tough
ask
one.
me, yes, if you ask me all time, I think the obvious one is Raph, but that released as a single, and
It's like everyone and their mothers have heard that song by now. It's
Absolutely.
like you're not really putting anyone on in the whip. Like, I don't know.
but there's a song right now that I've been playing heavy in my car, and it's Get the Bag. That is a song that I've been going crazy.
fire.
Bro, that 808 line is so infectious. Even the Cardi verse is crazy. That OG Cash Cardi. I love the way Ferg ends off the song. Rocky's flow for his verse. It's just such a great song. But I could go with other ones on here as well.
Oh,
that
for
would be
sure.
like right now.
Walk on Water is high up
Absolutely.
there. Please Shut Up is high up there for me. Perrier, of course.
Coziest with ASAP 12 and Coke Boy Zach was another one that I was considering as well. I've played that a lot in my car, and there's this crazy, like, tripped out sort of dark New York aesthetic that's kind of flushed into the entire project, so you could find anything you want on here.
I'm surprised not more of these songs became hits, to be honest with you.
Absolutely,
But,
even
what
something like
did
"What
you-
Happens for Me Too" is a big one that I go back to all the time.
What do you have?
I'm gonna go with "Get the Bag" at the moment because it's literally the song I'm playing the most off of this album.
I'm going
at
to
the
blow in mind Skateboard. I think that it has
Yeah,
one of the more
W.
interesting beats, just that flute-driven production. Then you're going into this charismatic ASAP Rocky. You get a combination of like Playboy Cardi and Chief Keef on the hook. Like, what a fucking combination. It always stood out as one of the most distinct songs on the project and evidence that they're great curators.
Yes.
The ASAP mob as a whole. So let's keep it going. We have
Absolutely.
3 albums left. Next up, Lil Big Pac. Easily one of Kodak's best mixtapes.
I
if
think
not
it's his best project. I think it's
Yeah.
his best project.
Super solid. Big shout for me. That wasn't my answer. Vibing in this bit with Gucci Mane, bro.
That's a sick club
Crazy
banger.
hybrid of being a club banger and also being like a song for the streets. That's what I
Absolutely.
love about it.
Everything 1K was a
Yeah.
big song for me as well, but I think that's more of like the introspective Kodak that doesn't really bring as much energy as another song on here. But I think this was another easy one for me. Young Prodigy.
Young Prodigy's the
Oh,
one.
easy. His best ever song in your
Best
opinion?
ever song for me. Yeah, like,
Easy.
like this is a song where it's like if you don't fuck with this track, you're not gonna like Kodak's music. That's how I feel about it, bro. Like this guy is rapping his ass off here. Production goes hard. I love that he's sort of like hyping himself up in a motivational way, giving you like sort of a rags to riches breakdown, but doing it in a digestible way that's simple.
Absolutely.
So
and that all listeners could really get behind.
yeah.
All right, let's continue.
Literally
going.
starts off a verse by rapping, "I was cheating on my girlfriend." Crazy Kodak talk. But let's keep on
Ventura.
going. Yeah, this might be the first time, again, that we speak about this album on the channel. And it's easily a top 3 album of Anderson's. Super consistent record.
This is a great record to play with a woman.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is like aux music for the ladies.
Yes.
This is like what you have to be playing.
You'll find like some of, I think, the best composed songs and best performances on songs like Make It Better and Come Home. But I don't think they're the best for the aux.
Yes, you can't play that around everyone.
No.
You know? I went to Twilight.
Okay.
10th track.
I didn't expect that.
I went to a Twilight. That's a very underrated pick off of this album. You know why? Just because of how uplifting it is. It's one of the faster tempo tracks off of the album as well. Anderson's kind of like melodically rapping off of it as well, so you could find like maybe a good gauge in the car of people that maybe like rap music more than R&B, but R&B people that don't like hardcore rapping. So I went with Twilight.
So I have the same reasoning as you, but for a different song. So I went with Yada Yada, where it's like you have a singing performance at the start, and then the second half you get him going into the rapping bag.
But that's what you want to find with Anderson, right? When you're replaying his music, you don't necessarily maybe want to lean. Well, I think for me, I like everything from Anderson. You know, he's a goat in our eyes, right? So I could go with anything. But let's keep going on with this. And this is going to be the last album for today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, it was such a joy to revisit this over the
weekend. Bro, this is going to be Born Like This by MF Doom, his last solo studio album under the name MF Doom. And I love the album cover on this. Oh, it's sick. I think it deserves more appreciation amongst hip-hop fans. So, obviously, having MF Doom blasting on the aux is not going to work in every car or every situation.
But there are more accessible tracks on here than other projects.
You need like a Chevy Impala full of like fucking hip-hop heads, then you could have your field day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
so what were honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions, Gazillionaire, produced by Jay Dilla. I love the beat switch there. Also, That is probably the most lyrically impressive track with a nice violin backdrop, but that's not the one.
Absolutely. Madlib production, that was another one that I was considering. I just didn't make the cut for me, but I was really looking at the Wu members. I was looking at the Wu members.
So we went in a different direction.
I went with the Wu members. I didn't go with Angels. I'll explain to you why I didn't
go with Angels either.
I love the horns in the production as well. I just feel like I don't know, like I went with something a bit more aggressive off of the album.
So did I.
I went with something a lot more aggressive, and that was going to be Yes Sir featuring Raekwon. It's one of the more darker tracks off of the album. It's one of the shorter tracks, too, off of the project, so I feel like a listener in the car is not going to get too much at once, and they won't be disengaged from the track itself. Get a phenomenal verse from Raekwon, too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what do you really want from it? The only thing that I feel like people could say is that you don't actually have MF Doom on here, but it's still like one of my favorites off of the album too. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's acceptable. You're choosing the best aux song. It doesn't have to have the lead
artist.
Because
I was trying to think about it, and I'm like, well, you do get Doom throughout the entire project. It's just that maybe for an aux song, people wanna.
There is one you could go with here.
I know there is. There's multiple that you could have gone with. But I feel like maybe Raekwon was a bit more digestible than MF Doom. So maybe that's a bit of a cheat code that I used over this one.
Okay, yeah, I went with Rap Ambush. And I love this song because this is unlike any production you'll ever hear MF Doom rapping over. It sounds like similar to I'm So Hood by G Unit, or a song that would have been produced like in the Bling era of hip-hop. It's so cold. It's so dark. And hearing him rapping about like sort of ambushing this unnamed rapper that he's competing with, he's just throwing just these bombs, bro, and it's super impressive. And again, I just appreciated hearing him over a production unlike anything else on that project or the majority of his catalog as a whole. So even though it's an MF Doom project, guys, you could still find some fucking gold there to play on the aux. But let us know in the comments, where do we go right? Where do we go wrong? And did you enjoy this series? Should we do it again? And if we do, which albums should we bring in? And as we mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we do have an exclusive audio episode out right now where we talk about our top 10 aux songs of all time in the hip-hop genre on Spotify and Apple Music. Check out that link in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon. Peace.